Welcome to this lesson on enumerated types. My name is Donna Martin and I'll be your instructor. In this particular lesson we're going to talk about, well, first off, what is an enumerated type, and then we're going to see how you declare them. We'll talk about how you compare enumerated types, and then finally we want to talk about enums and the switch statement because there's a particular use for them there. So to discuss what an enumerated type was, I thought we would revisit our switch example where we did the days of the week. Because basically an enumerated type is a list of constants. And if you think about a switch statement, that's exactly what every case is. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we already talked about the fact that it has to be a constant to be able to be used in a case statement. And if you have related constants, like in this case, the days of the week, it's a great place to use an enumerated type. Things like days of the week, months of the year, a list of the planets, menu options that might be available to your user. Those things are constants, things that are not changing throughout the duration of your program. I mean, there are 7 days in a week no matter what you're going to be doing. So we can create an enumerated type for this. Now, enumerated type definition, the definition of what your enumerated type is, does not occur in your main. It has to occur outside of a method. It's actually not just main, it's outside of methods in general. So we're going to declare our enumerated type out here above the main method. Now this is declaring a type, similar to declaring a class. So the keyword that we use is enum, and then you need to give it a type name. Those typically, just like classes, would start with an uppercase letter. So I'm going to create the weekdays. So I'm just going to call it weekdays. Now this is not actually declaring one of these in memory. This is declaring this type, just like when we declare a class. Alright, so weekdays is going to consist of the days of the week, and they are constants, and in Java, anytime that we use constants, we like to make them uppercase so that everybody knows what we're dealing with. These are not variables that you're going to be changing the values of. These are constants. So we just go ahead and enter all the days of the week, and again, we're defining this at this point. We're not actually creating one of these yet. We're just saying, well, if I was to ever use this enumerated type called weekdays, this is what it would look like, and you would list all of its possible values separated by commas. Then the nice thing is when we declare one of these and initialize it, I can use those constants here inside of my case statement. So let's see, how do we actually declare one? Now, instead of using day of the week, I'm going to use an enumerated type. Well, it's no longer a string, it's a weekdays. It's whatever type you define there for your enum. So weekdays goes here, and then now day of the week is a enumerated type rather than a string like it was before. So since it's an enumerated type, we don't initialize it to a string, so we have to get rid of that. And what we're going to be initializing it to is the Wednesday constant. Now Wednesday is a member of this weekdays definition. So it's not just Wednesday. We don't just put Wednesday here. Or I'm sorry, we had Saturday, didn't we? Sorry, Saturday here. That's not going to resolve. Saturday is part of the weekdays definition. So it's weekdays.Saturday, the Saturday value in the weekdays enum definition. So now we have day of the week that's set to this. So when we still switch on day of the week, that part is correct. But remember, these are now constants instead of strings. So I have to put in the appropriate thing, whatever is, basically what we've got going on up here. Instead of the string Tuesday, I'm using the constant Tuesday, which is in all uppercase. And then same for Wednesday. I would replace the string Wednesday with the enumerated definition of what we're representing it to be as Wednesday. And then I do the same for Thursday, Friday, and then I'll do the same for Saturday and Sunday. Now when I finish this and I get everything squared away, we're going to run it and see if everything works the way that it should, and hopefully it does. Oops, I didn't paste there, I just highlighted it. Oh, I didn't copy, I guess. Let's try that again. So we'll put Saturday in here, And then we'll put Sunday in here, and then let's see what happens when we run this now that we're using the enumerated types rather than using the strings. So we compile and execute, and we get it's the weekend, just like we had before. So let's change it to, instead of setting it to Saturday, let's set it to Wednesday and see what happens then. I did pick Wednesday, didn't I? One of the toughest days of the week to spell. It is not yet Thursday. So you can see how that works. So that's what enumerated types are. And they're very, very helpful when we're going to be dealing with things that have constant values. Now, enumerated types don't just work within switch statements, so that's a very common place to use them. Let's go ahead and create another one that's we call weekend, and it's going to be set to be Sunday of the enumerated type weekdays. And I could do, for instance, an if statement. If, and I'm comparing my weekend variable, which is enumerated type, and I'm going to compare it to Saturday, if it's equal to Saturday, or, so we're going to use the double pipe, weekend is equal to Sunday, weekdays dot Sunday, then I'm going to print out that it's welcome to the weekend. And then you'll see that this works too. All right, let's finish this off. And then if we compile and execute, oops, let's see, I did something wrong. Oh, here I have an extra curly brace. I guess I just decided I needed that. I don't really know. I should have paid attention when I did the carriage return because it didn't line up correctly. Try it again. Welcome to the weekend. So that's from my if statement. So you can just use the double equals because these are not strings now. These are enumerated types. And then this is not yet Thursday is happening with my switch statement. All right, let me show you one more thing with these enumerated types. In addition to being able to use them in switch statements and all of that, you can actually also print them. So let me just add a print statement up here where we're going to print out the value of what we're switching on so you can see how this works and how it actually prints. So maybe I want to print something like, I'm saying what is not down below or that it's the weekend. But let's say I actually want to print the value right here. I want you to see what happens when I do that. So I'm actually printing, I'll print day of the week. Day of, since that's what we're doing in the switch statement. Oops, I'm sorry, there's a capital T there. Remember my camel case. So it is, so let me show you what happens when you print an enumerated type. It is Wednesday, so it's going to print it in all uppercase because it's a constant. But that's kind of nice too, because the welcome to the weekend is what's happening with our if statement print. And then here I'm printing day of the week. It is, and then day of the week. And then this is just my print from the case statement. So you can actually print out the values of an enumerated type as well. Just realize that it's going to come out as an uppercase constant like this. Thank you for joining me on this module on enumerated types. I hope you'll join me for the workshop, which is the very next module. Thank you.